Fill your thirst beside the river. Wash the journey from your hand. Feel the comfort flow inside you. Come this far.
Hi, welcome to Healing Outside the Box. I'm Rosemary Lachance, an energy healer, a spiritual teacher, and therapist. And I am your host for this thought-provoking series, and am dedicated to providing you with food for thought information and answers to all modalities of alternative healing, spiritual development, animal welfare, environmental concerns, and so much more in the form of guest speakers who are experts in their fields. This series is recorded and will be shown in your area on your local public service cable network. Please contact them for dates and times. If you have a group that you think would be interested in what we have to offer, I'm available to come to your group and talk. I will give you the contact information at the end of the show. Please visit my website and click on my TV show, where you will find a wealth of information about this show. These shows are now available for you to watch free on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and type in Healing Outside the Box to make your choices. We are constantly adding new shows, so keep checking back. We are also on Facebook under Healing Outside the Box. Please like our page for the latest information about the show. I hope you enjoy the show. Okay. Tonight's show is titled Living Healthy in Today's World, and our guests are Mark and Mary Minotti. Welcome.
Hi, well, thank you, Rosemary. It's such a pleasure.
Let me tell you a little bit about them. Mark and Mary, and I think a lot of you in North Haven know these people very well. They are North Haven residents, Rotarians, and business owners. They have been married for 32 years.
32.
Wonderful. And are the owners of the Music Center of North Haven, the Music Force Cafe, North Haven's only vegan vegetarian cafe, and Soul Light Rainbow Reiki Healing Center of Connecticut.
Correct.
It keeps you busy people.
We are busy, busy, huh?
Absolutely, yes.
I've known you so long. How long?
Oh, very,
ago?
very long, Rosemary.
When you were, had the music show up. How did we meet?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
well, what happened was we were at 150 Washington Avenue, and it was Minotti music at the time.
Yes.
Right.
That's how we met.
That's how we met. And
Near my health food store.
You had the
Yes,
health food
you
store.
did.
Yes,
you
that's
did.
it. Now I remember.
And I used to come in all the time,
Yeah,
and we
you
would
did.
talk. I remember the pictures in the back. And
we're talking 90s. We're talking.
Yes.
That was the 90s.
93, that's when I opened, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, because in 94, let's put it this way, in 94, I had gotten some kind of virus that hit me, and it hit me so hard that the doctor at the time decided, well, I'm going to put you on 3 different antibiotics, these horse pills. I'm talking mega doses. It knocked me so far into the red. I actually thought I was dying. I can't even describe the feeling, my whole body crushing. Like I was just feeling like I wanted to pass out. And I came to you, and you brought me some supplements from your store, and it started my walk. And that's kind of,
Wow.
though I've always been in tune since I was a little boy.
Yep.
That kind of started waking me up and saying, wait a minute. Is it the right thing what these doctors are doing? We trust so much in doctors, and don't get me wrong, we need doctors.
We do.
But
to fix broken bones.
Right,
Operate,
right.
take things out.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Run tests.
Put new things in.
When you need them, but I think it's our job to maintain ourselves.
Yes.
And
it
that's
is.
what we're talking about.
They can't do that.
Yeah,
No.
they really shouldn't be.
They think just medicine. Yeah.
I mean, I found out from somebody that actually I questioned a very good friend of mine, a doctor. I'm not going to name his name, but I said, well, how many? Like, I know you've been to medical school for a few years, right? And he goes like, oh yeah. I said, how long did you do nutrition? And he looked at me. He says, why are you asking me that? And I said, because I'm curious. Nutrition and health and the well-being. How? He goes, well, we have it for 2 weeks. It's enough. And I went, 2 weeks?
Yeah. That goes back too, because women's problems, they always come up. And I always made sure that I read up on it, what is wrong with me. And I remember my gynecologist who said, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, it's working.
Yes.
Keep doing it, right?
Keep doing it.
It's an amazing thing that people don't realize. you could do so much ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and that's the bottom line. I think that's why, you know, we've gotten to where we've gotten,
Right.
and yourself also.
Right.
We're always searching, you know,
Yeah.
and finding new things, and you know, we're all growing older, hopefully, you know,
Yes.
because you know nowadays there's no guarantees.
Growing young.
You know, yeah, growing young, and the main thing is. You know, I know our life expectancies, technically, according to different ratios, has gone up. But is it quality of life?
Right. That's the
And that's the key. You know what I mean? That's the
Yes.
key. You know, I know so many people on so many different pharmaceutical medications right now, and I question a lot of them. I say, why are you on that? Well, this helps that. And I'm like, well, no, technically it doesn't. Did you research that? Did you find out? And then especially with our opioid crisis going on right now.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
You know, I mean,
that's horrendous.
The first thing out the gate is, I would say, is, well, how are they getting these pills? You know, I understand street. I mean, I came from Bridgeport. You know, that's where I grew up, so I know all about the other end. I mean, so being, I could honestly say I'm an expert from being on the other end, growing up in that kind of atmosphere. These just don't pop up. They're getting in the hands of people. I think we need to fix that. You know what I mean? Because people are just relying too much on a quick fix.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they just want to live that same lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
they
don't
just
care.
say, give me a pill, and that's all I want to do.
Yes.
I don't want to I don't want
Right.
to change my way of eating.
Right.
When I had the man on the show that cured himself from stage 4 bone cancer,
Mm.
he has a diet that he talked about, and that's the way you eat. So my girlfriend, a friend of hers, was dying from bone cancer also. And so she said, let me have a copy of the show, and I gave her a copy of the show, and she played it for him, and he watched it and everything. He said, I got to ask my doctor. So he went and he told the doctor, he said, this is known as a macrobiotic diet,
Oh,
blah, blah, blah,
yes.
blah,
Yeah.
blah, all things. Doctor said to him, you won't like the diet.
Oh.
You won't like the food. Just keep taking the pills and the radio. He's passed on now. He's gone.
So-
Young man in his 50s.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
no. But you see, that's the whole thing with the macrobiotic diet. It's it does go in stages. The first 3 months are complete detox. You are getting rid of everything out of your system, and the whole purpose of it is to alkaline
Right.
your body
Right.
and get rid of all the acidic foods.
Yeah, and that's what we're working. Our bodies right now are working so hard to even try to maintain. I mean, years ago when our families, you know, I've had this question to. I mean, you can go really far back and say, well, wait a minute, that they were like that and blah blah blah. But what's happened is years ago, they didn't live the lifestyle we had with all the, we have Wi-Fi blowing through us 24/7. We have cell phone towers. I laugh, I say to everybody, it's okay, cell phone towers pop up everywhere, right? Has anybody ever seen a cell phone tower go up? Literally, go up. Everybody asks, say no.
No.
The cell phone tower trolls.
Yeah.
Because
They come in the middle of the night.
they come in the middle of the night. They're little
Tick, tick, tick,
domes.
tick, 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 and they go up.
When I tell you how fast, we were driving by a 95,
Right.
and we had gone back and forth a few times, and I knew there was this one cell phone tower, and believe it or not, I'm so sensitive, and so is she, that when we get close to a cell phone tower, my head starts buzzing. And it's interesting. I'm sure other people feel that, but they kind of disregard it as
Right.
maybe I'm just leaning on something.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's
Right.
not. It's a true thing. And I was going by. We were going by again, and I went, "Oh my God!" And I looked at her. She goes, "What is that?" I'm feeling it too. And sure as anything, there was a even bigger one put up right behind it. And I said, when did that go up? We had just been 2 days prior.
Right.
It's like they go
Yeah.
up like crazy.
But
But there are
You know?
massive, and one right behind another. I don't understand what's the
I
purpose
know.
of doubles.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
that
there's a lot of money in it. I know that for a fact. And but if you notice, there's no birds on that. Like she made a great observation. She said, you know what? Electrical lines, they're a bit around us, but you see birds perching on them. You see squirrels running over
right.
them. You never see a bird anywhere near a cell phone tower.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, and it's
Good
true.
point.
There was a program on, I don't know how long ago, but I saw, and I know we're going to be jumping around in this
Yeah,
conversation.
Yeah, because I want to ask you how you got started.
Yeah, and I'm going to do
You
that.
had a bout with health yourself.
Yes.
I want you to tell the people about that.
Well,
All
with
right,
cell
go ahead.
phone towers, I'm just going to bring
Finish
this up.
that, sure.
Yeah, on the Empire State Building. When they go to fix that whole dome is a giant cell phone tower. Do you know they go in with a crew? I think there's like 20 to 30 guys. They have to go in at 1 o'clock. They shut that tower down. They only have a few hours to be up there. They have an emergency alarm that sounds because that cell phone tower goes back on at a certain time. If they're not down, they're microwaved.
Oh my God.
Now they had
There's
a
a
big
lot of
thing.
radiation
Yeah, they had
on that.
a big thing on PBS about
Wow.
this with the actual guys working on it. He says like, oh yeah, there's one guy that's actually watching the clock, and he's radioing. Oh, how far are you? How far are you? How far are you? And that's when they service those. That's how dangerous these things
Yeah.
are. You know, we go into a dentist's office. What do? They put a big lead vest on you to have one X-ray.
Right.
Well, your cell phone, one X-ray. Your cell phone is 10 times the power of that in one phone call.
Right.
So this is what I'm saying. But please ask some questions to us.
All right.
I would
So
love to answer.
I want to know how you got started. Didn't you tell me that you had some health issues?
Oh, yeah. We
And
started
that's what
back.
started, and you miraculously tell the people the story about that. What made you start
Okay.
this healthy way of living?
Okay, so what happened was back in 2010 it was, you know, we were kind of burning the candle at all kinds of ends. It happens in business, you know, ups and downs, and you know, we had just had the fallout of the economy. So, you know, everybody was going one of these numbers. And we actually got involved with so many other things. They were just, when I tell you there was a ton of things going on, there was a ton of things going on. So what happened was we had, believe it or not, sold our business, Minotti Music, and we had got out of it. And we sold it to the Music Center. And I was training people. That was part of the deal. And so what happened was I started getting dreams every night. Now, and a lot of people say, "Oh, here we go. You know, it's another conspiracy theory, or it's the hocus pocus." It's not. I was getting dreams every night of dead people, of that I knew. It wasn't like these just. I knew all these people. Started out the 3 months straight. The first month, I was just seeing them in my dreams every night. I would tell her, I said, "You know, what the heck is going on?" She's like, "Oh, you're stressed out. You better calm down." The second month, I'm getting the same thing, but there's interaction. I'm seeing them talk. I'm seeing them do things. The third month, they're interacting with me. Now, I'm not going to make a long story short because you only have an hour because this would take many hours.
Well, you can
But-
come back because I'd like to hear more about this.
Yeah, part
I
two.
love
All
this
right.
right up my alley.
So what happened was 3 days. I'll tell you the final 3 days. The first day, my father was in my dream, and he had passed away. And he just looked at me, and he was shaking his head with a frown on his face. And I said, "Dad, what's the matter? What did I do?" He just kept going like that. I woke up, I told her, I said, "Something's wrong. I don't know what's going on. I keep thinking that maybe I need to do something for somebody. I don't know, there's something going on." And the second night, there was my buddy's mother. Her name was Carol Lee. And she said, "Hi, Mark." And I went, "Oh, Mrs. Lee." And I grabbed Mrs. Lee. Now, Mrs. Lee was, during her time, was a health advocate. She used to jog every day. In fact, it's so funny. All the guys down our street, they knew at Sunday at 9 o'clock in the morning, she was jogging. Everybody was mowing their grass because she was just absolutely beautiful. She was beautiful. But what happened was she had died of cancer. She had got cancer. She had... I think it was breast cancer, and then it went into cervical or something like that. But she had passed away. But she was my dream, and I hugged her in the dream, and all of a sudden I backed up. I looked at her. I go, "Where's the cancer?" And she looked, and she went down her leg like this. Now, I had just reconnected with her daughter not too long prior to that, and she had said to me, I said, "Man, Sherry," she was a fitness model. I said, "You look great." She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "The only thing I'm having a problem with is my side, my leg and my side. I have to go get it checked." So what did I think? Oh, I got to
That's
talk
why.
to Sherry. There's something wrong. They're coming to me. I have to tell people. The third and final night, all right, I was falling in the dream. I landed at a four-way major intersection. And I looked up, and I remember looking up, and I said, "God, why am I here?" And I looked to my right, and there she was with my mother-in-law, who was still alive. But they were we had a sports car. And it was actually a real sport. We had that sports car. So we had, it was parked, and they were in the car. She was in the front seat. My mother-in-law was in the back. All the windows, though, were broken. And I looked at it, and my mother-in-law looked at me, and she called me Marcoots. Okay, she's an Italian lady. She's from Cosenza, you know. So everything is an oots at the end of it. So her name
Only
is,
if she likes
yeah,
it.
her name is Mama Noots, and she calls me Marcoots.
Marcoots.
So she says, "Marcoots, I think she goes, Marcoots, I think you're lost." And I look to my left, and I said, "No, Mom, I'm not lost. Look, Johnny's here." Now Johnny was a Trumbull police officer that I used to work with in Sikorsky years ago. And Johnny proceeds to walk down the street to me, and he looks at me and stops, and he goes, "Mark, Mark," like I can't hear him. I go, "Johnny, I'm right here. What's the matter? He goes, you know what, buddy? Just like this. I'll never forget it. You know what, buddy? You never listen. You never listen. He turned around and proceeded to walk away. In the dream, I held my head.
Was he alive?
No, passed away.
He had
Oh, he was
passed
passed
away from brain cancer.
Yeah, I held my head and I went, oh my God, he died from undiagnosed brain tumor, brain cancer.
Right.
I have brain cancer. And I woke up. I was in a frantic mess. I was in a panic attack.
Right.
And she said, what is going on? I said, oh my God, I just had the most terrible dream of my life. So she's like, no, you know what? Go in the shower, take a shower. We got to get ready for work. It'll calm you down. So I went and took a shower, kind of, I just start forgetting. I went back in the room and she went into the shower and I'm buttoning up my shirt and I'm looking at the TV set. And all of a sudden, I saw this fluttering happening in my eye. And now, I don't know if everybody knows what an ocular migraine is. An ocular migraine, they don't know why it happens to some people, but it'll actually, some people go blind for like no more than 10 minutes. You get jagged edges, it's almost like broken glass.
Yeah.
Okay, so all of a sudden I started feeling that and I went, oh, I had gotten an ocular migraine 2 times before that. So I said, oh, I need to, I kept thinking it was my blood sugar. So I ran, I got a protein shake and I guzzled this protein shake. It took over my eyes. I couldn't see. It was almost like you took 2 fingers and put it in front of your eyes. I could see feet. I couldn't see anything else. But I went to sit on the bed and I said, okay, in 10 minutes it's probably going to go. And all of a sudden, it was almost like to say, you're not going to get out of this again. Mm-hmm. I felt like somebody grabbed me from the back of the neck with 2 thumbs against my brainstem. And I thought I was stroking. Okay.
Wow.
Now I'm calling for her. I said, oh my God, I think I'm having a stroke. I think I'm having a stroke. So she comes running out. And she calms me right down. 10 minutes, everything goes away. She says, call the doctor. So now, I had just had a physical, by the way. And the doctor said, man, you're in great shape. He says, the only thing is you're a little heavy. You got to lose some weight. And I was about 250. So I was kind of big. He was being nice to me. Yeah, he was being nice to me. So what happened was I call him up, and he said, what's going on? I said, I got to come in. I was trying to make up excuses, I'm having eye problems or something like that. He goes, well, all right, come on in. I got a space. So I come in and he's looking at me. He said, what's going on? I said, well, you know what? I want an MRI. And he looked at me and goes, well, why? And make a long story short, he says to me, I'm not going to call an MRI because you're going to have to pay for it out of your pocket. They will probably not give it to you with your insurance the way it is. So he says, so what's going on? I explained to him what happened to my eyes. He goes, when was the last time you saw an eye doctor? I said, about close to 20 years ago. He says, well, I think it's due. But he says, I'm going to tell you like it is. He goes, I looked in your eyes. Your optic nerve is not swollen and it's not collapsed. Those are kind of signs that we look for. He says, they're actually really healthy looking, other than the floaters. And I used to suffer from floaters for years. And the last time I went to an eye doctor, he told me, oh, floaters, you'll have them forever. There's nothing you're going to do about it. Okay. So he goes, listen, go to the eye doctor. So I'm sitting there, and he's writing out the script for me to go to the eye doctor. And I just said, I prayed. I said, God, please make him change his mind. This man stopped in his tracks. Now, he never did this. He's very adamant, I'm going to do. He says, what do you really want me to do? And I looked at him and said, I don't know how many times I got to tell you this. I want an MRI. Mm-hmm. He said, all right, go to the eye doctor first, and then here's this, and then go later. Well, I went right away. He called me the next day. He didn't even say what his name was on the phone. He said, how did you know? I go, how do I know what? How did you know? I said, who is this? He says, this is your doctor. How did you know? And I go, how did I know what? He goes, you have a brain tumor. You have cancer throughout your brain in the back. You have a brain tumor. It is right by your main artery. I don't know what to tell you. It's in your brain
test? From looking in your eye? Or
no, MRI. I had the MRI. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He goes, I don't know what to tell you. Come on in.
Jeez.
I almost passed out right there. So she drives me there. I'm like, totally messed up. I go in, he shows me the MRI. I mean, the whole brain, the whole back of the brain is all, I mean, it looks terrible. Oh. And he says to me, what can I tell you? Go to a neurosurgeon and get it cut out, and we got to see what happens. I know what to tell you. So now I went, oh my God, I'm going to die. So she says to me, don't worry about it. Let's go talk to a neurosurgeon. So I called this one doctor, really good neurosurgeon, and he said to me, listen, he calls me right back. He says, listen, we have to take tests and stuff, but from what the MRI I received, it kind of looks like a glioblastoma, and he's going through all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my God. He goes, well, I won't know until we actually go in. But he says, listen, I'm going on vacation. Can you imagine? I'm going on vacation. Thank God he did this, though.
Yeah.
He says, I'm going to be gone for 3 weeks. God forbid I operate on you. Something happens. You'll have an
Right.
intern working
Yeah.
on you. You don't want
Right,
this.
right.
He says, I'm going to hand you over to somebody. I think you're going to like her. Well, who do I get? Is this doctor. She's rated number 2 in the nation. Totally wonderful woman. I went down to see her. The first thing out the gate was she had already seen my MRI. She said, listen, we're scheduling you, this was in February, end of February, we're scheduling you in March 13th. You're gonna, we're gonna go for brain surgery, we're gonna remove that tumor, blah, blah, blah. My wife jumps up and says, do we have to do this? And she looked at Mary and said, seriously, do you have a life insurance policy on him? Do you want him dead? Just like that.
It's like,
And she said, no.
No.
I've been studying for many, many, many years the macrobiotic way of eating and learning all about holistic medicine. I never knew why I was studying this. I had no reason to. She says, but we'd like to go holistic. So then she started to argue with this, and then she said, because at that point I'm just like, I was just numb.
sure.
You don't know what to do at that point. You're very, and I understand, and I'll tell the public, I know when somebody gives you a cancer diagnosis, you just don't know what to do. And it's the scariest thing, but don't get scared. Because that's the first, that's your first hurdle. You have to get courage. You can't get scared. Because once you're scared, you give up yourself, you give up all your free will to everything. And that's how so many people get in trouble. So she says, listen, my husband found it, you didn't. He has no symptoms, which I didn't. I had no symptoms. But yet, this tumor, they were very concerned about. It was on the larger side. So she says to my wife.
And on the MRI, it shows that there was an edema that was around the tumor.
Oh, yeah, it was a very big edema, too.
So there was an edema that had happened around the tumor.
Yeah, so I had all this mess going on in the back.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
the doctor looks at us and says, okay, I need to get a benchmarker anyway. I'll give you 8 weeks. I said, okay. And she says, but in 8 weeks, if it's anywhere, I'll know right away because there'll be plenty of growth and stuff like that.
Right.
We're going in. So I shaved my head. We went through the markers, the whole bit. So then she said to me, okay, we're going to start the macrobiotic way of eating.
Right.
So we went through all this, and she got me on this diet of macrobiotic, which she'll explain to everybody out there. There's a lot of research on it. She's going to highlight some things, but there's Michio Kushi is the actual founder of the macrobiotic way of eating, and you'll discuss more of that. But
okay.
but what happened was during all this, I was at a party, and I'm a Rotarian, in town. So I was the president last year. She's actually going to be the president this coming year. And so we were very active in the community helping. So we were doing a fundraiser. So here I am sitting at a fundraiser doing all this work with all this on my mind. And
Yeah.
I was just...
And we were performing, actually.
Yes.
We were performing
so
at the fundraiser.
I was not in a good state of mind. So a woman who I knew her husband well because he was a Rotarian walks by me, stops and looks at me, and she says, can I do a reading on you? I'm feeling drawn to you. Now, I'm a musician, so showtime, nobody knows there's a problem going on. I mean, I'm having a good time, and you would never know.
Right.
She said, and she just said, just continue doing what you're doing. And she touched me right here in the center. She was reading me, and she says, there's stuff going on with you. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go for the ride with you, providing that you allow me, because it's a free will. I am a Rainbow Reiki master, and I do tons of energy work. And so I looked at her and I said, can I be frank with you? I told her what happened to me. She went, okay, I'm ready when you are. So that wonderful woman, who is Marie Marchesal, I don't know if you know who Marie is.
I've heard of her, yes.
Yeah, Marie is a phenomenal Rainbow Reiki master.
Yes, she is.
She actually lived in town for many years, and now she's has moved away. But we're still very much in contact. She proceeded to give me Rainbow Reiki, which is an energy work that is unbelievable. I mean, Reiki, there's all facets of Reiki. Our Java's got, who's the founder of a certain type of Reiki. Well, this was, Walter Lubeck was the founder of this Reiki. So she proceeds to give me Reiki. And when I tell you, I never knew what energy work could do for somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, we run by chakras, which you could always look it up on the internet. Anything that we're talking about is really on the internet. The internet is such a powerful tool when it comes down to really researching things that you should be doing. But what she did was she first off started balancing my chakras and started doing sacral stuff on me. And when I tell you, I was seeing visions. And she said to me, Mark, I don't know what it is. I've treated so many people. You have energies and spirits happening all around you. And I mean, when I tell you, as a 5 to 7 year old, I was seeing full-bodied apparitions. I was seeing all kinds of stuff.
When you were young.
Oh, and I'm very open to it. That's why. And people think, oh my God, no. I was very open to energies, and that's why I accepted those energies right away. So I was getting these swirls. I cannot explain to you. I even had an out-of-body, which while she was giving me a Reiki treatment, I was standing next to her, looking down at myself. And you want to talk about crazy? I actually thought I had died. But I'll tell you a little bit of information. I felt a pull.
Yeah.
I felt a pull. And next thing you know, I was in my old neighborhood where I was growing up. I ended up in my old house. I came through, and as I went to the kitchen, I said, oh, they changed it. Interesting. It's not the way it was. I go up, floating upstairs in the out-of-body part, into my bedroom. Everything's the same. I ended up through the attic, up on the roof, and I'm standing on the roof with my hands out, and I go, oh my God, what is going on? Just like that. And next thing you know, I feel a pull again, and there was an actual entity, just completely white, but I could see there was an entity.
You're probably your guardian angel.
Well, whatever it was, brought me to my school, which was Blackham School in Bridgeport. And as I came around the flagpole, I was almost prostrate, like this. And I went, oh my God, I died. That's the only thing I thought. And next thing you know, I was, and she's holding me down. And she went, out-of-body experience, I say. Just like that.
You're right back in the body, yeah.
Oh my gosh. And it was the most incredible experience. Well, that journey, I realized that I had to do more.
Pursue it.
More.
Yeah.
So now, 8 weeks go by. I'm 52 pounds lighter in 8 weeks on the macrobiotic diet, which she'll explain to you how it works. I go back to the neurosurgeon. I get my MRI, go back to neurosurgeon. She comes out and she says to me, all right, come over here. So I was like, oh boy, here we go. She says, what are you doing? Are you feeling okay? And I go,
who's this now saying this?
This is my neurosurgeon.
The neurosurgeon, okay.
Yeah. I'd rather not specify any names.
that's all right.
The edema had gone away.
All gone. All the cloudiness in my brain is all gone.
Right.
The tumor is still there.
Right.
She says, I don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Keep it up. I'll see you in 8 weeks. So I went,
Another
it's
8
working.
weeks.
It's working.
Right.
So now another 8 weeks, I continue on this macrobiotic diet, total energy work going on at the same time, and started a lot of meditation. Meanwhile, in between all this, we had, in our music store, we used to have a cafe. We ripped everything out of there, anything that had to do with sugary goods, and put in a macrobiotic vegan restaurant. And that's how the Musical Forest Cafe was born. And we started that up, and you want to talk about things that, I mean, when I tell you, when dots connect, don't poo-poo it. There's reasons. This is a walk that everybody has. We have a gift, and we have to give that gift. And some of us are picked to help other people. And you don't realize when this is going to happen. Let me tell you, I had no idea. I'm used to helping people, but not like this.
Yeah.
So we were doing the vegan restaurant, and I get a phone call. And they said, hi, I represent this group, and we had booked a meeting for Walter Lubeck from Rainbow Reiki to come down, and they double booked the unit. We want to know, could you hold it there? And I was like, yes, I could.
Yes.
I shut the store down for the 4 days that they were there, and Walter Lubeck from Germany comes to our store. We served them. I wasn't part of Rainbow Reiki now. I was getting treatments from Marie, but this was a whole seminar for Rainbow Reiki 1 and 2, and so I was totally disconnected. All I did was cook for them. So at the last night, I told them I'd make them a dinner, and which we did. And I remember looking at her, and I went, oh my gosh, I'm so glad it's over. There were 62 people at our restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah, and they were doing the seminars in the back. There was so many people at this thing. So we're standing there, and we're talking, and Walter Lubeck comes out from the back room, and he's talking with everybody and saying, well, what a great, everything looks so good, and blah, blah, blah. And then he stops. He looks up in the air. He stops. He tells this whole crowd, excuse me. He walks around my cafe counter, and he looks at me, he goes, is your name Mark? And I go, yes. He says, he looks up in the air, and he goes, I don't want to alarm you, but you have a brain tumor. And I go, yeah. And he looks up in the air and he goes, you have it here, which is correct. It's right in my cerebellum. And all of a sudden he looks at me and goes, there's no amount of energy work of any kind. There's no amount of food alone that will help you. You must get rid of metal bed. And I went, metal bed? No sooner did I say metal bed, he says, oh, no, you have motorized bed. Worst bed ever. You need to get rid of motorized bed. And he goes, I explain. So now, this is where we get into yesterday as opposed to today. Yesterday, we had metal beds, metal springs, right?
Yeah.
There was no Wi-Fi. There was no energies going through.
Right.
Nowadays, we have so much energies going through our systems. I mean, my God, we have it right behind us. TV sets, everything is plowing through our systems. Metal is a conductor. So what happens? You lay on a metal bed with springs or metal bars, you conduct.
Yes.
Okay, you are now a conductor. But with a motorized bed, and I had not told anybody I had a motorized bed. Nobody knew. We had just got it a year prior.
Is that the one that goes up and down?
Yes. He said to me, it's loaded with copper wire. You have now made yourself into a microwaved antenna. Get rid of metal bed, continue with the health and the energy work. Yeah, he goes, your tumor, boop, it'll go away. Walked right back around and started talking to the place. And I looked at her and I go, what the heck was that? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. This is just like, and don't get me wrong, I'm a very spiritual person. I'm an avid parishioner at our church. And so it's not that I'm a holy roller, though. I'm not. But this is just mind-boggling, So I don't want everybody to think that, oh, here we go, I'm going to, grab a tambourine and start, it's not that.
To be
it's
that.
not that.
No, but
you know how people look at it.
Yeah, but you know what? You listened, we listened.
Oh my God, did
and
I
we
listen.
got rid of the bed.
I went to Pilgrim Furniture the next day.
The next day, we were there.
And I said, where's your wooden beds? He's like, we only have 2. I don't care, let me see them. And we got this one wooden bed and had it delivered, and I got rid of the metal orthopedic bed.
So it's literally a foam mattress sitting on a wooden platform.
There's not even a metal slat on it.
So
So guess what? Within 2 days, she says to me, we're sleeping right through the night like babies.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why. And she says, it's the wooden bed. We don't have any kind. Now, we took all our cell phones out. And by the way, everybody out there, get rid of your cell phones in your room. Get rid of your laptops in your room.
Yeah.
This is stuff that is just constant energy going through. That's why you're not sleeping well. And that's one of the main reasons. And there's all supplementation that you need.
Right.
But, getting rid of those, all the things that have to do with high energy. High energy is everything that's going through your TVs, your laptops, your cell phones are the worst. Yep. And I see how many people put it by their bed. You got to have it right there.
Right.
They're irradiating their system. I'm so sensitive now that if you were behind me with an iPhone, I would tell you to remove it from my face because I could feel that penetrating right through my system. Back in the day, razors. Remember when the razors were? One of the main reasons why the razor kind of went kaput was because it was giving off too much energy. I used to put it up to my face. I'd feel it down my jaw, and I taste the metal in my mouth all the time.
The one that's electric.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying. No, not electric razor. The actual foam. Motorola razor.
Yeah, it was called the razor. It was a very thin.
It was a very thin foam.
But now
you don't see it around anymore.
No, you
it's
don't.
made way to the different Androids and now the iPhones. So that's what's come out.
So
but
now
they're just super strong.
So now we just put a computer up to our ears, So.
Who does that?
No, this is what I'm talking
No.
about.
Oh,
the phones now, they're like
yeah.
little iPads,
Oh, yeah.
and you're kind of like putting.
So in any kind of situation when you're dealing with any energies, don't like people walk around with those earpieces.
Oh, I know.
They're the worst.
I think those are awful.
You are sending Bluetooth through your brain.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to tell you what my neurosurgeon said to me. Okay. Now we go back. She says to me, Mark, I don't know. I can't even say anything because if I brought this up to the AMA, I'd probably lose my license. I'll see you in 6 months. 6 months. Okay, I'm out of here.
Let's see the MRI.
Yeah,
Well, from a ball, it was flattening.
It was flattening.
It was flattening out.
So now, mind you, this is 2011. So I went from a critical glioblastoma look to, oh my God, I don't know what it is. We'll just see in 6 months. So now I got cocky. And I looked at her, I said, yeah, I'll go. The vegetarian restaurant's rocking and rolling.
Right.
And I proceeded to start getting lessons in Rainbow Reiki. Because I said, I have to give this back to the people. This is not just, that's another thing that we have to learn in life, that you can't just take. Everything needs to have something exchanged, and it's so important. When you have energy work, whatever your talents, whether you want to call it God, creator, it doesn't matter. Whatever the higher being that brought us all here has given every one of us gifts. I don't care if you think you got nothing, you have something. Everybody does. The problem is we don't see it. Sometimes we're always looking for that magic treasure chest somewhere, and really all your treasure is right next to you. It's what you have inside. So you have to give that back. So I said, no, I have to give this back. And I need to learn more about this because Marie kept saying to me, Mark, I'm telling you, I see sparks with you. I mean, it's amazing. So I proceeded to get it, and I ended up connecting with Walter Lubeck, and we became such close friends. In fact, we did a show here with Walter. He was actually straightening out somebody's spine. And the cameraman at the time, at the end of it, did not believe it. He's like, oh my God, what a bunch of hogwash this is. I never seen it. So Walter laid him down. He said, would you like me to do it to you? Because he was limping. He straightened his leg and spine out within a minute and a half. And the guy jumped up because, oh no, what did you do? And he was so panic-stricken that he ran out the door. And Walter was like, wait, where are you going? What happened? And it was so funny. But that's how, we have to understand that all these things are true. If I can take any data and send it over and you can get an image, why do people believe that you can't touch base with the other side? You can't harness energies. Now I am now a Rainbow Reiki First Dan Master. So I give healings at our studio also. So I mean, we're kind of just not a music store anymore. We are a music store / vegan restaurant / I opened Soul Light Rainbow Reiki Healing Center of Connecticut.
It's all there in that.
Right.
It's on Washington Avenue.
It's on Washington Avenue. Yes. So it's at 473 Washington Avenue. Those are only by appointment with the Reiki, only because you have to usually allow about 2 hours from what I do, and I start. The whole thing about Rainbow Reiki, and of course you're a Reiki master also, right?
Not a master, no.
Okay. So with Reiki and Rainbow Reiki, our goal is not to keep the person or the client. Our thing is to realign, get you ready, and move you on. And that's what I do. So, I mean, I've literally seen, since we started this, almost 1,000 clients already. And we bring them in, and I've treated all kinds. In fact, sometimes you question what you've done. And I had gotten a phone call, and they said, we heard about your walk and what you've done, and we hear that you're a healer. And so many people, it's just like a life coach. Everybody's a life coach. I mean, you take a little course, everybody's a life coach. It's not the same as healing, okay? I don't want you to think everybody's just a healer. I mean, watch that word. I consider myself a helper. And with Rainbow Reiki, as well as any energy work, we're a conduit. So anybody can do it. It's not like I am I am the guru. That's not that. I open myself up to allow the energies of our world and our universe to come through me, and it will actually heal whatever part is going on in your body. I've had clients come in and say, you know what, I have a back problem, and I go to find out it's their leg. And I can tell them. I can tell when I'm giving a Rainbow Reiki session, I can tell if you're on any medications instantly. Because that comes through.
You can taste it.
I actually had somebody who poo-pooed it and said, oh yeah, come on, yeah, give me one. And he laid there, and as I scanned him, I said, you're having, I don't want to scare you, but you're having kidney and liver problems, and you need to go get checked. His wife, who was in the room, looked at me and said, how did you know? This is how intuitive you become, because you allow the energies to come through you and travel, okay? There are differences, like Rainbow Reiki has more hands-on for specific needs, whereas regular Reiki is hands-on, and wherever the energy needs to go, it goes. And it's true. Walter has developed some phenomenal treatments for people. And we also do distant healing. Now, people say distant healing. Well, the whole thing about distant healing is the person...
Are you saying distance?
Distance healing,
yeah,
yes.
Right.
The whole thing about distance healing is you have to be willing to receive it. In this world, in our universe, there's free will. It's for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you just can't go out of your way to... Oh, that's yours. Yeah, you can't go out of your way.
I had it shut, yeah.
Yeah, you can't go out of your way to try to help somebody who doesn't want to be helped. We all have a walk.
Right.
And some of us...
It's not on there.
It's out of the box, right? Too funny. But we have to understand that there's a free will involved.
Yep.
And free will means that the other person has to know or is willing to receive.
Yep.
You see it on a lot of social media. Send prayers to my friend, send prayers to my friend, send prayers to my friend.
Yes.
We have to understand that that friend has to be willing to accept that prayer. Things do happen, but they happen much more exponentially if they're accepting. Right. So, but it's been scientifically measured now that there's a man in Poland who has been measuring distance healings, and they really work. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah, they do if the person accepts it.
Yes. Well, guess
Definitely.
what I found out? This is another thing. And now there's a channel that I don't know if I can I say the name of the channel on air? It's an actual channel that you can subscribe to.
It's in the United States?
It's in the United States,
Yeah.
yes. It's online.
Yeah,
It's
right.
called the Gaia channel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's on TV. You can
Yes.
get it if you go on demand.
Yes.
Yes,
Now,
it's
Gaia
great.
channel. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff on
Right.
there.
Yeah.
But that has got to be some of the best program I've seen in so many years. They're actually scientists
Yep.
talking about how things happen. I was watching a show where they were talking about the Hubble telescope and how it's taking pictures of all these beautiful universes all over the place. Well, what we didn't really know is there's another telescope that's actually reading energy and gamma rays and all these different things.
Oh, yeah.
And they showed a star system and beautiful stars all over the place. When they showed it with this other telescope, it's a honeycomb. So what does that mean? We're all connected, energy connected.
All the
Oh, yeah.
stars were connected with their energies.
Yes.
It
so
was
so
amazing.
in that aspect, if we can if I
Yep.
could take my phone and send you a picture from here to Kingdom Come,
Right.
why can't I send you energy work? And
Right.
people get scared with it.
The
Yeah.
energy is out there for all of us to use.
Yes.
Right.
That's what I tell people when I do the healing. I'm just harnessing that energy
Right.
through me to you. That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Now,
period.
now we're dealing with.
Right.
I have
But
a-
I want to hear. I want the audience. I'm sure wants to know how you made out
Okay.
with that, and they want to know about the vegetarian, right? Vegetarian diet,
Yep,
and
yep,
all that
yep.
stuff to
Right.
help them.
All right, so let's get into that then. What
Yeah.
happened was I waited a year.
Instead of 6 months, he
Yes, I
didn't
waited
go
a year.
6 months like he was supposed to.
No, and I started
He
getting
went-
headaches.
And he went after a year.
And I started getting headaches, and I went, oh my God, I really screwed up. I mean, they were coming through my neck into
Well, just
my
because
head.
you didn't go to the doctor?
well,
you were
to
still
check
doing
it,
though.
we were still
No,
monitoring.
I was doing all my stuff. Wait,
Yeah,
wait,
you're
wait,
still
wait.
doing your
I was
stuff.
doing all my stuff. I was
Yeah.
still eating, and I was still getting in energy work, but I thought because I waited 6 extra months,
Yeah.
maybe I did something wrong.
No.
It's
Yeah.
but that's why I'm telling
Getting it, yeah.
people,
Yeah.
sometimes we question it. It's like, oh my God, I'm doing the wrong thing. You know what? If it feels good in your heart, you're going to do it.
Right.
So I went back, and I'll never forget it. It was December 21st. It was right before Christmas. And she actually skipped into the room, kind of, and she looked at me, and she hugged me and gave me a kiss on my cheek. She says, Mark, I've never seen anything like this. I just got through. Come over here. We went and looked at my MRI, and I was just, what does that mean? Because I want to hear from her.
Yeah.
And she said to me, Mark, listen, you're good. I go, what do you mean I'm good? She goes, I'll just tell you this. I am so glad I didn't operate on you. Now, when a neurosurgeon looks at you and says, I'm so glad I didn't operate on you, you're kind of like, what does that mean? She says, well, listen, I'm going to explain a couple of things. I wasn't afraid of the operation because the operation, I'm so used to doing them. She goes, I love cranial surgery. I just really do. But it's the after effects. Once we open up the brain, that fluid is gone. You never have it. And you'll always have problems of infections and everything else. And a lot of people really just get the chemos and the radiations just destroy people. This is what happens. I mean, we're taking a situation where the body, I mean, everybody has cancer. Everybody has cancer and cancer cells, and you have pathogens all through your system. The whole point is to keep your body at a level where you keep that at bay. You don't do any triggers. And this is what we're going to get into talking about the macrobiotic diet.
We got 15 minutes left.
Oh,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
No.
You're going to have me back on.
Yes, I'm
No,
definitely going to
see?
have to have
Oh
you
my
back
God!
on.
I told you I talk a lot.
Yeah,
All right.
yes.
So with that said, I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Is it gone?
Yes.
I haven't had any problems since. I mean,
Yes,
and guess
his-
what?
it-
My
it-
neurosurgeon quit.
Yes.
She said, I'm not
She
going to
said-
have hospitals tell me who I can operate on. And this
yeah.
is where we're at right now.
Yeah.
They are being told who to operate on and what to do.
Yeah.
It's not up to the doctors anymore. And this is a scary thing. And
Yeah.
listen, I'm not trying to blow the whistle on anybody. Just do your do your background, do your history.
Due diligence, yes.
And don't jump. Cancers, a tumor, is our body's way of containing bad things.
Right.
What we do as a society, we rip it out and we give you bad things. Don't do it like that. Think about what you do beforehand, okay?
Yeah.
Understand, we need doctors, and this is not to poo-poo doctors. We need doctors. We need them to be there for us, but we don't need them to open it. And remember something, the reason why we have chemo and radiation is because when they open you up, things pop and blood starts circulating. It moves the cancer all through your systems, okay? Understand that by an easy change of lifestyle, and make this your New Year's, not New Year's resolutions, New Year's life resolution.
Yeah.
And that's how I look at our lives. You know, every year is a new life resolution. You need to change this stuff. In order to combat what's going on in life, you need to do this.
Right.
You need to change the way you're eating, the way you're thinking, because
The way
mind,
you're
body,
thinking, that's
spirit.
important too. That's right.
Oh my God, that
Mind, body,
negative,
spirit.
negative stuff in you has to go. Stop looking at social media because it's all negative. I mean, unless you have to do a couple things business-wise, trust me, nobody has a better life than you do. You know, everybody has problems. You know, we all have problems.
Right.
The last thing you need to do is to fuel and figure out how you're going to solve somebody else's problems when you can't clean up your own backyard. But let's get to talking about macrobiotic.
Yeah, I just want
So
to.
it's gone, the tumor?
Well, as
Knock
far
on
as
wood?
it's still I won't lie about that. It's still there, but it's very small.
Very small. All
Very
right.
small.
And she said to me, if it ever flared up again, I might be subject to cyberknife. But she says, the way I do things, I don't think I'll be seeing you ever again.
That's
And
terrific.
and there it is.
There's proof.
So, and
See
there-
that out there? There's proof now, okay?
Yes.
Yes. And it's all around us. And
Yes.
there's many. There's not just me.
No, I know.
There's
It's not-
many people.
Yes.
Yes.
But they get pretty much pushed down and like they're making up things, making up
Right.
stories. You know.
And you know, the basis of the macrobiotic diet is very simply a balance.
Yes.
You are balancing yin yang. And that's about the size of it. Michio Kushi believed that we are what we eat. And there's a lot of processed foods that we eat that are petroleum based, that get into our systems, that clog everything, and that's where the whole idea came from. With this, you have acidic foods, you have alkaline foods. The whole thing with cancer is that your body is just very acidic, and that was the other thing
let
we
me
did.
just, I'm going to dovetail off what you just said, and that's key. You can actually go out to the pharmacy and get a litmus test. You can test your saliva, you can test your urine. I would suggest testing your saliva because you'll get a more accurate reading. Your urine is usually, ideal right now is anywhere between 6.8 and 7.3. Okay, that's where you should be. That means you're more toward the alkaline side. Your urine will test about 6.0. If you have cancers or anything like that, or stress, you're around a 5.2. That opens the door. Guess who loves that kind of of environment?
Right, cancer.
Cancers.
Cancer loves sugar. So if you feed your body sugars, this is what's going to happen. You're going to end up with
I'll
an
give you one of
acidic
those.
body. And that's what cancer loves. Cancer. So if you are, well, thank you,
Yeah,
dear.
you're very welcome.
So if you have cancer in your body and you constantly eat sugar, that's what you're doing. You're
Right.
feeding your body.
Now
Water is the best thing you can do. Hydrate. But the faucet, we haven't had anything from the faucet.
No, we never took from faucet.
That is
All right.
That is
This
horrendous.
right here you can find online. These are very easy to find. This is a pH spectrum test. Okay. Now, right out the gate, 1 to 3s. Okay, that's highly acidic. Alkaline is 7 and up. Now, 7 is a neutral. Okay. So, how many people out there drink carbonated water thinking it's the healthy alternative? Club sodas and energy drinks. That's 1 to 3. You put your body in such an acidic state that you're just welcoming all these great pathogens and everything to light up. Okay, most of your purified waters are only a 5. You know, you're thinking, drinking all these different. Oh, it's purified water. All it is tap water that they put through a filter. Distilled water, believe it or not, is a 5. It's not really high in this. You should not be drinking distilled water. It's good to, if you do, like say you're using for a neti pot or something like that to clean out your sinuses. That's fine, but not for drinking. Your fruit juices and grains and eggs, fish is all a 6. Okay, so now once you hit 7. 7 is your spring waters, okay? Now, when I was going through this, I drank mineral waters.
Yes,
Because we don't have any minerals in anything anymore.
It was,
Right.
and
You're right.
they were in glass bottles, not plastic.
Right.
So we were very particular on what we were drinking and eating at the time, because you are detoxing. So you're very
Yes.
particular in what you're putting into your body. So we were taking the Acquapana or the Rienzi water, which is a mineral water from Italy.
Yes.
And it's bottled in glass bottles, and that's all he would drink.
Now, by the way, this whole diet. Now we're wondering why. Oh, you want what's a macro? It's high. I'm going to tell you exactly what I did really quick. I removed all sugars from my diet.
Yeah.
Everything. No
was
coffee. No creamers. I removed all dairy from my diet. All meat from my diet. So right now I am a vegetarian. I'm not vegan anymore. I was vegan during this. Okay,
Yes.
and this is a stage that you have to go through.
What do you eat? Like eggs?
I do eat eggs now. Yes.
Eggs, and do you and like butter, things like that?
Yeah,
right?
I do, but no, I actually don't. I don't do butter
No,
anymore.
you
I
don't
take
do
a
butter.
I do a veggie butters.
Yeah, I do the Earth Source.
Earth
Yes,
Source,
that's what
great.
we do. Yeah.
Great.
The soy free.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when
yeah.
you're at the gym, like there's vegan protein powders now that are amazing now. They weren't like this a few years ago, but they're amazing now. And that's what I use.
But what do you have that makes you stop being a vegan to a vegetarian?
Well,
well,
we'll
what
have-
happened was...
no, I mean, what do you eat? Because I eat fish.
Yes.
Yes.
And I eat some dairy.
Yes.
But everybody
yes.
is different.
Pescatarians,
So,
I guess we're
no,
called.
pescatarians.
Thank you.
Pescatarians, yeah.
Pescatarians is, I guess, our label
So,
right now.
so there's something about this that they have to understand. I induced myself, my primary hit was mushrooms. Mushrooms
Yes.
are God's gift to all of us.
Right.
The fungi are incredible against tumors.
Yes.
There are
It's
tumors
an
like
anti-tumor.
Yeah. Golden needles are especially called tumor busters, and they're being studied in the medical right now.
Yeah.
All the medical facilities are
Golden,
studying.
what'd you say?
Golden needles. They look like a little needle on a little bulb on the top, and they're that long.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a
mushroom.
mushroom.
A mushroom. Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
But what comes out of mushrooms, this particular tumor, this particular mushroom will actually the properties of it will attract cancer cells, and it kills a cancer cell in 24 hours. It's incredible stuff. So what I did was I was shiitake, rishis, matakis.
Even the tea you drank.
Oh
was
yeah,
a
I drink
mushroom.
what they call my green tea. It's MAI green tea.
tea.
It's found at health food stores all over the place. We actually sell it at the Musical Forest Cafe also.
Yeah.
But I drank that one tea bag all day long. I drank 8 to 9 cups a day. It was amazing.
Yeah.
When I tell you clean, I now for the first 2 weeks you're going to feel like garbage because all that stuff in your system is going to come out.
toxins
That's
are
where people
coming.
get scared and they run.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't get scared and run. You will feel feelings that you thought I have no idea. I had tingly sensations going all through my system. My eyes were cloudy. And then all of a sudden one day I woke up, I heard a high-pitched ping in my ear. And it was like, oh my God, I felt like I was reborn. I'm talking, I could see, by the way, during my energy with Rainbow Reiki, I have no more floaters anymore. So, isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
When you balance your system, we're no longer balanced, especially. We're no longer balanced at all.
no,
Okay?
no.
We have to be balanced.
Yep.
And that's part of it. Your floaters are caused by an imbalance in your system. It's all stress. It breaks those little pockets and they end up all over your eyes. So that has cleared up. And I can do that for people too, by the way. It's an amazing thing.
You know, out of curiosity, you want to read what 10 is?
All right, you're number 10.
You're number 10.
This is where
which
you
is
want to
the
be.
best.
Which
This is
is
where you
the-
want to be.
This is the very best foods you can
And
eat.
I'm not talking about saturating this with cream products and everything. So, okay. Spinach, broccoli, artichoke, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, carrots, cucumbers, lemons, and limes. Believe it or not, everybody thinks they're acidic. They'll make
They're
your
not.
system highly alkaline.
right.
Seaweed, any kelp, wakamis, anything like that. Asparagus, kale, radish, collard greens, and onions.
During that time,
Yes.
we ate a lot of sea vegetables.
Yes. Super important. Super
Yes.
important. I'll be honest with you. When all the stuff happened in Japan with the
Tsunami.
yeah, the tsunami and everything,
Yeah.
and when the nuclear reactor was pouring,
Yeah.
I stopped eating Pacific wakamis and Pacific sea vegetables.
Yeah.
Yes.
I now only eat Atlantic. Okay,
Yes.
so just so you know, there are
Because of
Atlantic
that.
versions of all that stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Stay away from farm raised. This is one of the big problems out there
Yeah.
too. People are eating a lot of farm raised GMOs, genetically modified organisms.
Corn, wheat, and soy.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh! Get the organic. Listen,
Yeah.
guys out there,
Yeah, yeah.
you have to listen to us on this. Would you rather spend an extra $1 a pound on organic vegetables and be healthy, or would you rather spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical, all right, going to hospitals, getting treatments that you really don't need. You have to get your system. The bottom line is get your system alkaline. That's all you need to do.
Right.
Believe it or not, once you get to that part, it actually stops everything dead because it's right in the AMA book. Cancers and pathogens cannot live in an alkaline environment. They just can't. They're just not, they can't do it.
It's the same thing that man says, Don Porter, who cured himself from stage 4 bone cancer.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he said the same thing with you. And he does something with baking soda.
Yes, that's
Drinking
another
to help
one.
the changes the alkaline. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's key.
Absolutely.
That's key.
You're all in sync with him, everything he
But
says.
you see, this is the common thread that anybody who has ever studied any of this, you'll find that common thread. That's why when he was diagnosed with the brain tumor, I said, look, we know how cancer survives, so let's not do that.
Right.
Let's get rid of the sugars. Let's get you down. Let's get the alkaline body happening. Let's stop all of the sugars. And we got you going with
I
that.
stopped eating sugar. And
Yeah.
my weight just dropped off.
Yeah, like this.
I'm
It's
telling you,
amazing.
people, I can eat
Yep.
oils. I can eat the things
Yep.
I love to eat, all the
Right.
oils and the
Yep.
cheese and this and that.
Yep.
But without the sugar,
Yep.
it just melted off.
Yeah.
It does.
And don't,
I can't
listen,
believe it. I was
No,
like
it's-
amazed. It was like a miracle.
Yeah.
It is. You
That's all
know,
you have
but
to
you
do.
know what though? The sugar is the worst thing for you.
It is. I know that now.
processed
Yeah,
sugars
yeah,
are
yeah,
terrible.
they are.
You know, this is what we're talking about. And there's plenty of alternatives. That's what we do at the Musical Forest Cafe. I make comfort foods made healthy. And so if they came into our place and ate, I have products called, my product is called Renegade Veggie Products. And what I wanted to do was, because, you know what, when I talk to vegans, or I'm singing to the choir, you know,
Yes.
no pun intended because we're in music, but, you know, but when you're talking to people that are so used to eating that big steak. I had one guy say to me, I'd rather die in 3 years than give up my steak.
I know.
Can you imagine
They don't
that
wanna give up
mentality?
their-
No,
Yeah.
they don't
Well,
want
guess
to-
what I can do?
Eat steaks. Oh.
Yeah.
I make bacon, I make steaks, I make everything vegan.
Yeah.
We had a taste testing this past Saturday. I had one gentleman there, he says, I stopped eating vegetables years ago. My wife forced me to come. You made me eat vegetables again. I'm going to start eating the way you told me. Can you imagine that? That's huge. To
That
have
is.
somebody like that, and that's why my products that we've designed, they're all, they're as wholesome as you can get. I
Right.
use all organics.
You talk about what you serve at the
Oh
restaurant.
yeah,
Yeah.
all my recipes are all organic, and they're all made.
Yeah.
They're made exclusively for that reason. I want people to be able. If you want a mac and cheese, I can give you a mac and cheese that will knock your socks off, and there's not one bit of cheese in it. Okay, I use what they call nutritional yeast, and of course a lot of spices. But
Right.
that nutritional yeast,
Yeah.
it's so healthy for your body. It's
And
not
we-
the typical yeast.
And
so.
we know how healthy spices are.
Yes.
Turmeric or turmeric, however you pronounce
Yes.
it. It has it's huge for your joints.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Something as easy as cinnamon. People don't realize.
regulates your sugar. Diabetics
Yep.
should be taking the cinnamon.
Now, if you
do
need
it-
sugars, stevias, anything like that, it's from the stevia plant. That's all natural. That actually helps diabetics. You know, so there's
Right.
things you can do. You don't have to, think that, oh, if I go on this, forget it, I'm going to lose my life. No, food is not
Yeah.
your life. You need food to survive, but that's not your life. Okay, there's
you don't
plenty
live
of things
for
that
food.
we.
You need food to live.
Let's see. Eat
to
to live.
live.
Don't
Right,
live,
live
to
to
eat.
eat.
Right.
And
That's why we're all obese.
I know.
I lost a friend at 50 years old. Do you know what he used to consume? 2 liters of diet soda per day. He did it for like 15 years. And then between all the garbage he used to eat at all these different fast foods,
Yeah.
I mean, that's all he consumed. His liver, kidney, and organs failed. They all failed.
They shut down.
At 50 years old.
Wow.
Why are we doing this to ourselves? We don't need to do this.
No.
And you know what? You want something really good? Come to our place. I'll make you a brownie. I have a brownie that's gluten-free and vegan.
That's great.
People look at me and go, this can't be.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah.
We have to stop. We have to
Yes.
give the contact
Oh!
information.
Okay.
All right.
So fast. Oh my
Awesome.
goodness.
Awesome.
All right, let's give the contact information.
Yep. And you thought it, I mean, my goodness. Look at this.
For me, to reach me, Rosemary Lachance, its phone is 203-627-7966. My email is whitebuffalo8, comcast.net, and my website is www.rosemarylachance.com. And it's Mark and Mary Minotti at minottimusic@aol.com. And the phone number is 203-606-2687. And the name of your restaurant
Is the Musical Forest Cafe.
And it's on
It's on at 473 Washington Avenue
Okay.
in North Haven. Such a pleasure.
Wonderful,
Oh,
wonderful,
my God.
wonderful,
It's
wonderful,
always,
wonderful,
always
wonderful.
a
You'll have to
pleasure.
come back.
I would
Yes.
love to,
All right.
because we talk a lot,
We'll
right?
get you back.
I talk a lot.
We'll get you back before this year's out.
Oh, sounds good.
promise,
That'll be
promise,
such-
promise.
yes,
Yeah, because like I
absolutely.
said,
And
we
I'm
have a
going
lot
to come
of
to your
things.
restaurant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds good.
absolutely.
All right, everybody.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Mwah.
Healthy and happy. Remember.
Wash the journey from your hands. Feel the comfort flow inside you. Come this far